Senator Markey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, very much. The East Palestine train derailment was not preordained. It was preventable. It was a disaster waiting to happen. Corporate greed, outdated railway safety regulations, lax hazardous material standards were all the fuel on a toxic fire that was ready to combust. This was something that was preordained and known about because of all of the rail accidents that happen every year in our country. And unfortunately, innocent, hardworking, working families in Ohio and Pennsylvania were the ones that got harmed by this. Those families were upended, their lives have been changed, doctor bills, veterinarian bills, saw the values of their homes plummet overnight and stayed up late worrying about what this means for their health and the health of their young children in the future. These are real harms. So am I right, Mr. Shaw, that last year the stock buybacks by Norfolk Southern was $3.4 billion? Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's directionally correct.
Am I correct, Mr. Shaw, that last year Norfolk Southern made $3.3 billion in profits?
Yes, sir. And last year we invested over $1 billion in safety. And last year our accident rate, our number of accidents was the lowest it had been in the last 10 years. Our safety stats, Senator, continue to improve. And I am committed to making Norfolk Southern safety culture the best in the industry.
Well, you're not having a good month. You're not having a good month. And it seems like every week there's another accident that Norfolk Southern is a part of in our country. So you may think that you've put in enough, okay? But the facts are saying just the opposite in terms of what is happening. And what I'm hearing from you is just this great confidence that you have in your system. But I'll tell you this, Mr. Shaw. Overconfidence breeds complacency, and complacency breeds disaster. And that disaster has hit East Palestine, and it's hitting community after community across this country, not just Norfolk Southern, but the rail industry in general that has reduced its workforce by 1/3 over the last 10 years. And in that reduction in workforce, there is a reduction in the measure of safety that has to be built in order to guarantee that people avoid these kinds of catastrophes. So let me ask you, Mr. Shaw, about a decision that your company has made. You've chosen an arbitrary 1-mile radius from the disaster site for people to qualify for assistance, meaning some families who breathe the same air, drink the same water, aren't getting the same help. Mr. Shaw, will you commit to providing financial compensation to all affected people, including those who live outside your arbitrarily chosen 1-mile radius around the derailment site?
Senator, we've made our Family Assistance Center and payments available to folks within the zip code, within Darlington Township. We've committed.
Will you commit to helping those people outside of the 1-mile radius? That's my question. Yes or no?
Senator, we already are.
You already are?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, that's not clear.
Okay.
Will you commit to compensating affected homeowners for their diminished property values?
Senator, I'm committing to do what's right.
Well, what's right is a family that had a home worth $100,000 that is now worth $50,000 will probably never be able to sell that home for $100,000 again. Will you compensate that family for that loss?
Senator, I'm committed to do what's right.
That is the
Long-term.
right thing to do. These are the people who are innocent victims, Mr. Shaw. These people were just there at home, and all of a sudden, their small businesses, their homes are forever going to have been diminished in value. Norfolk Southern owes these people. It's an accident that is basically under the responsibility of Norfolk Southern, not these families. When you say do the right thing, will you, again, compensate these families for their diminished, lost property value for homes and small businesses?
Senator, we've already committed $21 million, and that's a down payment.
That is a down payment. Will you commit to ensuring that these families, these innocent families, do not lose their life savings in their homes and small businesses? The right thing to do is to say, yes, we will.
Senator, I'm committed to doing what's right for the community, and we're going to be there as
No,
long as it takes.
what's right for the community will then be balanced, which is what we can see from your stock buybacks, by what's right for Norfolk Southern. And that's going to be to sue, to fight, to resist full compensation for these families. That's the pattern we've seen over the last 10 years in your 1/3 reduction in workforce with its natural concomitant reduction in safety.
Okay, then I'll go to you right now.
We're not hearing the right things today. These families want to know long-term, are they just going to be left behind? Once the cameras move on, once the national attention dies down, you know, where will these families be? I think they're going to be in the crosshairs of the accountants of Norfolk Southern saying, we're not going to pay full compensation. That's why we're going to stay on this case until everyone in East Palestine is given the justice which they deserve.